Let me see your eyes so I know you're listening. Good job. So we're going to do a little play for you tonight. And you'll actually find this story in the book of Exodus in the Old Testament. Okay? And this is the 10 plagues of Egypt that we're going to talk about. Okay? So our characters, we have Pharaoh, we have Moses, and Aaron. Okay? And so during the play, you might, some of the plagues are going to actually come into the audience. But I want you, as they come, just leave them where they're at. Don't touch them, okay? And so we can still listen and see what's going on. Are you ready? All right. In a land far away called Egypt, there were once a people called the Hebrews. They were slaves in Egypt and treated very bad. For 400 years, they cried out to God to be released. Finally, God said it was time to bring them out of slavery and brought a man named Moses, who was born of a Hebrew family, but taken in and raised by Pharaoh's daughter. God had a great plan for Moses, for he was to be a messenger from God and lead the Hebrews out of slavery. Now Moses did not want to go before Pharaoh, so God sent his brother Aaron to meet him and be the voice before Pharaoh. They knew Pharaoh's heart would be hardened, but God was on their side. Plague 1, blood.
Now, Pharaoh, the Lord told us to meet you here at the Nile and tell you, let his people go.
But Pharaoh's heart had hardened.
No, I will not let them go.
And all the water in Egypt, including the water in containers, turned to blood, and the fish died. And there was not water to drink. Plague 2, frogs.
Pharaoh, since you have not let God's people go, have fun with the frogs.
Well, then pray that the frogs disappear, but do this tomorrow, and you and your people can go sacrifice.
And guess what? The next day, remember, leave the frogs where they're at, okay? Because more stuff's coming. Leave them where they're at. The next day, Moses prayed, and the frogs died, and were gathered into heaps, and the land stank. Once Pharaoh saw that the frogs were dead, his heart hardened, forbidding the Hebrews to leave. Plague 3, lice.
Thus saith the Lord, let my people go that they may serve me.
Nope.
The dust of the land became lice and covered men and beasts. Even Pharaoh's magicians told him that this was the finger of God. Still, Pharaoh's heart was hardened. Plague 4, flies.
Thus saith the Lord, let my people go so they may serve me.
I don't think I will.
A great swarm of flies came into the land in Pharaoh's house, and the land was corrupted by the swarm.
Go and worship your God in the land and plead for me.
No.
Hold on.
No.
Okay, go to your seats. Listen to what Moses has to say.
Wait for me.
Start again, Moses.
No, it wouldn't be right. Our sacrifices are an abomination to Egyptians, and they will stone us. We must go for a journey in the wilderness for 3 days and sacrifice the Lord our God as he tells us to.
So they left, and Moses prayed to God, and the Lord made the flies disappear. But Pharaoh's heart was hardened once again after the flies were gone. Plague 5, the Egyptian livestock dies.
Thus saith the Lord, let my people go so that they may serve me.
How many times do I have to tell you this before you leave me alone? No.
Tomorrow all of the livestock not of Israel shall be dead at a certain time.
And at that set time, God struck all the livestock of the Egyptians dead, but did not harm the Hebrews' livestock.
I will send my servants to see if the Hebrews' livestock is harmed.
After hearing that only the Egyptians' livestock had perished, Pharaoh's heart hardened once again. Plague 6, boils. And then the Lord told Moses to take handfuls of ash and let it into the wind. When they had done this, boils struck all the Egyptians. But again, the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart. Plague 7, hail. The next day, the Lord told Moses to tell Pharaoh,
Thus saith the Lord, God of Israel, let my people go.
No.
the hail was mixed with fire and killed all the animals and people in the field. Nothing left in the fields remained unharmed, except the people of Israel who were in the land of Goshen were kept safe from the hail. Pharaoh told Moses that he indeed had sinned and would let God's people go. But when Moses prayed to God and the hail ceased, Pharaoh's heart again was hardened. Plague 8. Locust. Locust. Plague 8. It's locust. Aaron and Moses went to see Pharaoh.
Let my people go, thus saith the Lord, or else there will be a plague of locusts never before seen.
I already said no.
The servants asked Pharaoh, "How long will you let these men destroy us?" So Pharaoh asked Moses,
So, who do you intend to take with you?
The men, women, children, and the animals.
No, go. Take the men with you and serve the Lord.
So once again, Pharaoh did not obey the Lord's command.
Okay, here comes the locust.
And the locust descended upon the land, and it was the worst in the history of the world, and the worst till the end of time. When the locusts finished, not one green thing remained in the land. Pharaoh called in Moses and Aaron and confessed his sin. Moses pleaded to the Lord for the locusts to leave, and the Lord cast them into the Red Sea. Once again, Pharaoh's heart hardened. Plague 9, darkness. Thick darkness covered the land for 3 days, and only the Hebrews had light in their homes to see. Pharaoh told Moses that he could take the people, but leave the livestock. But this is not what Moses had asked. So Pharaoh's heart again hardened.
You have spoken well. I shall never see your face again.
The final plague, the death of the firstborn. Then the Lord told Moses, "I will bring one more plague on Pharaoh, and afterwards he will let you go." So to prepare for the Passover, he gave instructions to put lamb's blood upon the doorways of the Hebrew households. During this time at midnight, the angel of death passed over and killed all the firstborn in the homes not marked with the lamb's blood on the doorposts. This even included Pharaoh's son. After this, Pharaoh sent word to the Hebrews to leave and take their herds with them.
But the story does not end here. Pharaoh gathered up his armies and went after the Hebrew people. But God was with them. The Hebrew people came to the Red Sea, and Pharaoh's armies were getting closer. God told Moses to raise his staff over the sea, and the sea parted, which allowed the Hebrew people to cross. Then God closed the sea, and Pharaoh's armies were no more. Israel saw the great work that the Lord had done, and the people feared the Lord and believed that Moses was God's servant.
The end.
Okay, well, I'm done.